Rolling, rolling.
Cue marker.
Forward to roll. Clearing, listening.
The fun thing about the Arya Brienne thing was I don't think we had to do too much to it to make it really fun to watch, because everybody's wanted to see these two together for a long time. And if they didn't know they did, they certainly do the minute the two of them meet.
Nice.
It was so exciting to train for that fight, and we trusted each other.
But to be fighting Gwen, who is far over a foot taller than me, and for her to be, you know, fighting someone who's far, far shorter than her, it's been a massive challenge.
Generally, as you attack, you move forward, and as you defend, you move back. And they have completely different sizes of gait, of step. That was a big challenge to choreograph that and deal with those issues. We use stunt doubles for their skill sets and also to put them in harm's way to a degree.
3, 2, 1, action.
In a fight, it's so much more than just choreography. Every movement says something about the character. It tells the story of these two very different warriors.
Who taught you how to do that?
No one.
Everyone has been waiting for the Stark children to be reunited, me included, and the chance to bring them together was very exciting.
Your list
Of people I'm going to kill.
Probably the scene I was looking forward to the most was the scene between Sansa and Arya in the crypt when they're standing in front of the statue of their father.
Pretty sad, but just so powerful. Doesn't look like him. Should have been carved by someone who knew his face. As I read the progression of the season, I realised it wasn't going to be all fun and games on set, but to have Sophie around on set again has just been the best.
We were really excited. Like, when we first got the scripts, we were texting each other, "Did you read all the scripts yet?" And I'm like, "Not yet." And then I read that we reunited, and then I rang her up and I was like, "Oh my God, I just cried. Like, I can't believe this is happening finally."
Keep it settled, thank you. Just hold that for us for now. Yes. Hold that, ladies. Thank you. Try and resist each other.
You got that?
It's tricky.
It's complicated.
It's been so much fun. She's my best mate.
And everyone's like, "Oh, it's so nice you girls are back together again." And I was like, just you wait, because by week 2, you're all gonna hate us, because we're very annoying when we're together. Before we left the gang. Gang's land.
You're not dying today, Sir Jorah.
The operation on Jorah was one of the major technical challenges for me in episodes 2 and 3. 99% of the credit goes to Barry and his incredible prosthetics team.
It's something we hadn't necessarily done before, and it's like almost everything we do with prosthetics. It's all trial and error. We had to devise a way of removing the top outer skin of this disease and having an underlayer beneath which could bleed, and we'd have pus and various gooey things. And I think we had a team of 4 applying his body makeup.
My call, I was picked up at the hotel at 1:45 in the morning, and it was 5 or 6 hours to get the full top body prosthetic done.
And stand by to rip, please. Ripping in 3, 2, 1, rip.
It was, you know, literally the first day of shooting of the season, and it's a 4.5-page, incredibly intense scene. So it was a heck of a thing to ask Indira and Lena and Rosa to drop into on day 1 of shooting.
It's acting. So you put yourself in a difficult emotional place, you put yourself in the shoes of the character, and you go there.
Take 1, Seymour.
I never got to have a mother, but Marcella did. She was mine, she was the best thing I ever did. You took her from me. Why did you do that?
Obviously, she wanted revenge for Marcella. And what way is more painful than watching your daughter die, unable to touch her? As she wasn't.
And action.
I want you to know I understand.
The scene for everybody in the audience, for me anyway, is about satisfaction of revenge. instead of indulging the character's sadism, being the arch baddie that we all love to hate, her approach is that this character is a three-dimensional mother and human being. She plays it almost with an unwillingness, like a runaway train that she has no control over, that she cannot stop herself. And I thought that was such an incredible choice.
Rosabelle and I had to wear manacles, and we were tied to the wall. And we had trouble, because either they'd come undone because we were fighting against them, or I couldn't get them off. And literally, at the end of the day, I was like, mate, can't get it off. Can someone help me? And everyone's gone. Pete from props is like, I think we need a saw. And I had to be sawn out.
Thank you very much for an excellent day. I know it's a very tough day to start with. Everyone's work's appreciated. That's indeed a wrap. Thank you, guys.
You're on. The boat itself is a big fuck you boat built by a big fuck you guy.
It's one of those things where the silence was written bigger than what we could actually afford to build. And so we had to be clever about the way we did that.
We decided that the best way to really put across the true size of this boat was to build a section of it, the bow section that rams into Yara's boat.
And so we designed a big naval ram that was on the front of that boat that would then crash into Yara's. And that was an opportunity to reintroduce the Kraken. And also we had the Corvus itself.
We built the Corvus so that it became lightweight and very strong. We had a stuntman standing on the end, but obviously a controlled fall, so we had to make sure we had the right speeds, which meant that we had to control it with a wrench system.
Here we go. And 3, 2, 1.
One of the major challenges in the boat sequence was how to, sell the idea that this was happening at sea, that they were floating on water, and yet we're in a car park in Northern Ireland. Sam's first ever was, well, we'll just blast a load of water against the sides and it will splash up. By having this splash up, there was immediate visceral connection with the ocean.
We had green screens 60 feet high, all the way around the ship. So, there isn't really a direction that the camera can face that we don't have to do something.
We're big believers that real photographed elements are what helps sell the reality of our scenes.
Part of the look of it all, having a lot of embers burning through the shot as if all the boats are on fire. So we created ember guns. We had some larger rigs as well. We had a couple of moments where the whole sort of section of the mast would come collapsing down. Part of the battle is Ewan's crews fire the burning projectiles at Yara's crew. Our effect there is really a lighting effect, which was basically a flare. Sometimes we had flares fired freehand, and sometimes we had flares fired down wires.
Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1.